find the people that can win it best. But he kind of said, you know, people are hating on us, but that makes me hungry. That makes me want to shut everyone down even harder. You got to take that page and flip it to you on digital. Everybody's doubting us. Everybody doesn't expect us to win, but that needs to be fuel you put in your tank to make that car go Mach speed to push across that finish line.
I think it's 1.1 million channel points for eUnited, 13,000 for Digital Gaming. That is the most one-sided prediction or for channel points I have ever seen. All I'm saying, though, if you voted for Digital Gaming, get ready to triple, quadruple up because you're going to be making a ton of channel points. You might even be a channel millionaire, as Jacob actually coined that phrase not too long ago. But off to a good start, it seems, for Digital. They are getting those points, but as we know, that first hill is all about establishing yourself for the second and also getting your hands on those power weapons, which eUnited was successful in doing. Powerz has that fresh M-bar, and even though Digital Gaming started off with a 20 or so point lead, it's going to be negligible as the round continues.
Yeah, so far you can already see the start of this match. eUnited, they go up top, they solidify the M-bar, they get the elimination jar to see it in Powerz back, and now they're backtracking, trying to turn around and make their position for the hill. They got the hill, they got the points, and they're going to go ahead and rack up a lead as well. And since they already know where that next rotation is going to be, they know Digital's not pushing them, so now they're going to bring the fight to Digital. They need to get control of the spawn point and the next hill before it pops.
Yeah, definitely to get control of the spawn. Again, that was something that eUnited was struggling with in the past, but they've been definitely getting better as we expect them to be. You go back even whenever eUnited is playing as UIU. And I always say this, during Escalation, they struggled on District. They were just not a good District team at all. But when Ashes was coaching them, now respectfully, obviously Rubik's, they just hammer these maps in and these game modes that they're just not good at so they can become the best at it. That's the championship mentality eUnited honestly has. But let's be real, Digital Gaming's putting up a decent fight, Jacob, at least off the start.
No, they definitely are. That's what I said. You got to be able to fluster this team of eUnited. And honestly, that's what teams have been able to do on Regency. When you're going against an eUnited team, you need to be able to separate. You need to be able to get those big eliminations. And honestly, when I saw this map, like I said, I'm still scared for Digital, but I'm a little less scared because you know how eUnited can get discombobulated. But great trades coming through from eUnited. They're going to be able to hold on to that hill. But if you look at your mini-map, already the positioning, the spawn point for Digital Gaming, it comes through. So they're going to be quick and first to the action. If they can take advantage of this timing, it will go good. But Powerz with that M-bar could be a huge defensive hurdle.
Yeah, definitely so. And Powerz has got his hands on that M-bar 2 times in a row. Digital Gaming has been so caught up fighting for this hill. Now, I know I put a lot of emphasis on the power weapons, and rightly so. They are instrumental, and sometimes in just changing the course, changing the pace of a fight. Let's look at this situation, for example. It's a 4v3. Powerz connects on Toxiq. Now it's a 4v2. Now a 4v1. Digital Gaming can't stick that. Nero is forced to back up, but he's not going to have much success because you got the members of eUnited pushing you. Again, the M-bar isn't everything. We have seen teams lose, even though they secured the M-bar 5 out of the 6 times, but it can help you, and it is something you need to fight for because Powerz, he puts it to good use, and that's something you do not need being used against you.
Already, like I always talk about that spawn points, you can already see eUnited, they want to attack that spawn point first to set the hill, and they got a big flank opportunity coming through. What could be Praized, but already it looks like eUnited is going to get 1. They're going to get 2. They force a player to spawn out wide as well. If they can continue to get these eliminations, that'll be another hill they're set up for in advance, but they have to go through Gary first. But this is where I'm scratching my head a little bit. Yeah, I see a rotation coming through from Toxiq. Instead, he's trying to sneak away for the spawn, but this is where I talk about they're not necessarily on the same page. They're just leaving Gary out to dry.
Yeah, tough break. And you mentioned Toxiq. I mean, Toxiq is over here, but he's already being pressured by eUnited. The hill still has 50 seconds remaining. Now, granted, Digital Gaming is going to go for a 4-man push. This can be a successful one if they all hit their shots. Powerz dropping, that's going to be nice. Kenny now is going to be the next potential victim, depending on how he holds his ground. Great shot onto Nero, but not enough to get the finish. And we're going to see Praized fall too. So now there's only one eUnited member remaining. That's going to be Xplosive, and he's going to dip out. He's going to value his life instead of sticking it and giving it away because he knows this fight is going to be almost impossible to win.
Yeah, and honestly, he wants to set ready for his team. You see them getting ready towards the top half of the map with the M-bar that's up. You see Powerz already there. So they're getting ready for what could be a big portion of the match. And already you see the players of Digital Gaming trying to stretch forward. They're at least making an attempt. That's the biggest thing that I do like from them. They didn't go ahead and turtle onto the hill, get the points. They're trying to make an attempt. And because of those deaths, they're not necessarily going to get spawned outward, but they're going to spawn back up, get some extra utility, get their ammunition back up. So honestly, it's not the worst thing that can happen, but a missed control coming through. Toxiq not really able to take advantage onto Xplosive. Nero gets taken out. Xplosive makes him pay for a miss. Praized gets one. Almost 4 players dead, but Ghash, he's going to get down Praized, but he falls instantly after. 4 players dead on the next hill. eUnited is set up and ready to go for what could be a massive lead here in just a moment.
Yeah, it's a possibility. Digital Gaming is set up, however, to go for the repush, or at least a secondary push for this hill alone. Obviously, United wins the first engagement. They're going to split up, though, and Praized is taking, for me at least, I like this angle. I mean, he's allowing that pressure. He understands Digital Gaming is going to be spawning out. So he's taking the fight to them and not allowing them to even get any mid presence at all. He doesn't want them to get the cross, because if you look where Toxiq and Nero and co are currently at, there was only 2 players there. Oh, great shot, by the way. Toxiq also down. You know he's picking up another one here. That body shot's going to be enough. Toxiq, mismantle over. Hey, GG. And like you said, eUnited gets a ton of points here. But again, going back to my point, Jacob, I love the fact that eUnited had a good awareness as to where Digital Gaming was going to be respawning. They also knew Digital Gaming was going to appreciate the cross from mid to allow Toxiq and Nero to push in. They didn't allow that to happen. eUnited had their head on a swivel. They've got a good understanding of the map presence. They are playing very well.
You see, pushing through the middle. This time I like it. They're on the same page. All 4 players rotating up top. But eUnited, they got some good marks. They spot these players out. They know this push is going to come through. Great frag coming through from Kenny. Unable to connect, though. Gets the down on a Nero on the backside. He's going to have to deal with... Actually, it's Nero. He has got it down on Gary, but great down to continue that pressure being put through. Powerz gets taken out, though. Praized, that player I talked about, loving the hate, using it as fuel, figuring out a way to get an elimination. But Ghash, we saw him get one. He gets the second one on to Praized, continuing, trying to make up for it. Gets the down on to Kenny Bounce. Digital finally make a stop here and see how much time, though, reflections on this hill that they can actually accumulate. And if you even look at it, even if they get all this time, they're still going to be trailing by a lot to eUnited, who are then going to set up for another hill, another set of weapons as well. But Gary, that's going to be a big opportunity with that M-bar and to get Powerz out and hold on to it as well.
You know, this is such a difficult hill to break, and I'm surprised the United was pushing it with only 20 or so seconds remaining. Now, granted, it was only 1 who pushed up, but you definitely got to prioritize your rotation, your spawn, your overall spawn placement, and getting to that fresh hill so you can defensively set up, especially with Gary having this fresh M-bar. It's going to make eUnited's job a little bit harder, but you do notice, as I said, only 1 player from eUnited did choose to push during that 25 seconds on that last hill. The rest rotated over, so all is good and well. This frag could open up a big door, though, for Digital Gaming to push in. It's at least going to reposition. Plus, it takes down Powerz. A big body shot, though, is going to be hit as Ghash is going to continue to push in with the rest of his crew. eUnited putting up one hell of a fight, though, as Xplosive manages to pick up 1. Now you got another one from the corner. That was Kenny and Xplosive, now gone. And Digital Gaming are able to break the hill. And why? Well, because great body shots with the M-bar from Gary, and also beautiful frags unleashed from Ghash. Those utility items are not everything, but sometimes they can be enough to break the hill.
Pay attention to Powerz here. They're going to position Powerz for a great flank. They're going to overwhelm the top, wait for them to cat off guard, but they caught Powerz slipping. Exactly knew to look for it, just like Digital Gaming. Multiple eliminations going their way. Players of eUnited getting taken out. 4 dead. That's going to be an ace for Digital as they're looking to come back into this game. With all this time, they'll be roughly 30 points, but eUnited, they get the low spawn. This is going to be a second opportunity to break this hill.
It definitely is. And again, only 25 seconds remaining, but I think eUnited needs to fight for this hill, because you mentioned Digital Gaming. If they hold on to it, they're going to be well ahead of the game. Kenny hits a nice shot onto 1. Nero's trying to duck and dodge, and Kenny turns around. And just like that, with eUnited getting the close spawn, they will get the team ace and also get the remaining 20 or so points. You got to fight for these points. Last night in Challenger Series, a team rotated off of the hill with just 10 points remaining. That 10 points, Jacob, would have been enough to lock in the round. And unfortunately, they ended up losing by about 3 or 4 points. It was like 300 to 294, or I think 296. But either way, though, sometimes these scrap points, you never know how the ending is going to be, and you want every single point that you can get.
And that's why I always talk about having that coach, man. To do simple math sometimes is important. It's one less thing that you as a player have to focus on, and they can better direct traffic and figure out which kills are important. Nero does get taken down here. They want to solidify the outside of the hill, eUnited. And you see another battle going down in the middle. Toxiq getting caught off guard. And those are the moments that worry me, especially on these hills, when Digital get this close. They show such great signs, but then they fall apart. They start playing like individuals, and it just doesn't look good. Now Powerz getting hungry. He's going to chase 1 player down. That's going to be his second elimination elimination in a row. He finally falls. The death will be staggered. Digital, they have to go. There's not going to be any moment here to really think strategy, because now you have to hold every single second.
Yeah, they definitely do, but hey, every second might come their way. There's only 35 remaining. Kenny's going to be just on the outskirts. He's not marked. Smoke is going to dissipate, and finally the engagement will take place. He's going to drop. Great teamwork from Toxiq and co. I believe that was Gary just to his left. Another great shot as Toxiq starting to heat up. You know, the scoreline is still close, Jacob. We have seen comebacks take place with a more severe deficit, and at this point for Digital Gaming, quite honestly, 171 to 246 is very manageable if I'm Digital Gaming.
See, I want to say it is, but already with 12 seconds left, United 4 players up on the next hill. They have a 4v3. We've seen Digital come out on top before. He's just trying to throw that frag, create some separation, buy his teammates some time. Another down coming through. He needed to get it deeper. I think he'll get a kill, though. Kenny's cleanup comes through. Another player going down. That's going to be Gary. Xplosive trying to even it up, but he falls as well. They need to make sure they stay in the hill if United is going to go in. It's just 4 seconds. Those could be 4 sneaky seconds if not done and played right. But Powerz and Praized, the Z-Bros fall. United, they get another close spawn, though. That's going to be important. 3 players spawn up, and that's going to be another opportunity with eUnited. But Digital, they're not in the hill. They're not closing this out themselves as they go for pyro weapons. They're just trying to solidify themselves defensively.
Gary needs to get up here with the M-bar. He needs to connect. He needs to help out Toxiq. Ooh. That's going to be a great shot on the Praise. And again, that's the help Toxiq needed. Despite him falling, Gary now is going to be by himself. Does he choose to stick it? I guess so. He can't really get away at this moment. As long as you can keep it contested, get your teammates back in the fight. This is a really critical fight for Digital Gaming. They cannot allow eUnited to take it over, but they have no choice. EU gets that break. And a couple things to take away with this. First and foremost, the frags have been hurting eUnited. That was the second hill, the second time that we have seen the frags play a critical role for Digital Gaming to get a big break on a hill. But also, the flipping, you mentioned a close spawn for eUnited, Jacob. That was the second time EU got the close spawn to Digital Gaming and was able to capitalize by retaking the hill once Digital Gaming had established a defensive setup. So a couple of, pros and cons, I think, to take away for both ends on multiple hills.
No, it definitely is, and every single time I think Digital Gaming is doing a good job. They're coming back. Just something happens. eUnited get a big stretch of time, but here comes, I want to call it, they're in the red zone right now. eUnited's ready to close the game out. 15 seconds left on the clock. Big kills coming through from Powerz. Grenades trying to create that separation I always talk about. Another flash grenade to try to separate the players. Toxiq goes down. Gary by himself. He's able to get 1. Gary gets 2. He gets a big shot onto a Powerz. That's actually going to be explosive. He's going to back him off. He buys his team some time and gets Xplosive to kill himself. But this one is going to continue. Praized is now contesting the hill, trying to stay alive. And this is where he might have bought out more than he can chew. He gets taken out, and Digital, they will solidify the hill. They will get them time, but it's not going to be enough to win off of this hill.
Not going to be enough, but enough to at least make eUnited sweat, without question. And even some of those who voted on eUnited, those 1 point whatever million channel points, right? Digital Gaming's looking good. And again, everybody was against them, Jacob. They are the ones who have to prove something. They are doing it. Again, they are the ones who have to prove something. For eUnited, they really don't have to prove anything by beating Digital Gaming. It's already expected. But if Digital Gaming can beat eUnited, even in a map or 2 maps, they will be making a statement.
I said Regency, Clocktower, 2 big opportunities in this series. Make sure you're doing your picks and bans correctly. Great damage from Toxiq. He made sure these players are scared to peek up. Unable to connect with the M-bar, though. 2 shots being fired out. He gets the headshot on a Kenny. Nice. That's a big shot this late in the game. They've come back. They're officially in it. And then they have to make sure not to get funneled. Nash goes down, but Xplosive falls. Powerz gets baited in. He got the trade, the elimination, but he falls, and it continues. Praized gets taken out. 38 seconds left. Can they do it?
I think they can. Digital Gaming just within striking distance of overtaking the point lead eUnited has had for literally 3/4 of this matchup so far. eUnited is going to go for one final big break. Now, Digital Gaming, if they... Oh, great shot onto Kenny, by the way. Toxiq is turning up. He's got ice in his veins, but is this going to be the moment eUnited gets to break? Well, it's not looking like it, but that's going to be a big down. Toxiq needs to get picked back up. He's got the M-bar, and he gets picked back up. Powerz is down, and Digital Gaming could do this.
And he can't be too greedy. He throws the first frag. He has to wait for the second one. The team has to go. They have to create a distraction and a down. But now they've gained the lead. Digital Gaming have created the lead here. 2 big frags. And Kenny gets taken down. He gets the trade. The Praized falls. Xplosive falls as well. It's now up to Powerz all by himself late in this game. And Powerz goes down. It's GG. The game is over. And Digital Digital Gaming, the winless wonders, come out in game number 1 and take it away from eUnited.
Wow. You know, no one expected this. I know I didn't expect this. Fran yesterday during his stream was saying this was going to be a hot 3-0. That's bottom line, period. There's no arguing against that. Digital Gaming, though, comes in with a positive mindset and says, we are going to surprise everyone out there. Very, very well done. And shout out to Gary and Toxiq, right? The deadly duo, 34 and 33 eliminations, respectfully. Toxiq was so influential, Jacob, in that final hill with the M-bar. He connected nearly every shot.
Big headshots. I think the first one started with Kenny, and like I said, the way he picked up that M-bar, he got important Lancer damage. Not on only one, but 2 players of eUnited picked it up around the corner and then immediately fired a shot to make sure none of those players can push up without risking their lives. And when the game is that close, that's where the pressure is on both of these teams to make the right decision. And that was one hell of an ending for Digital Gaming. Perfect decision makings through and through the ending portions of that game.
And, you know, fair enough to Digital Gaming. I think they capitalized in areas where eUnited wasn't capitalizing. And off the rip, eUnited was doing a great job prioritizing the frags, the shocks, and the M-bar. They were getting them consistently. They had their timings on point, you know, per se. But then as the game started to mature, the map, I should say, started to mature, we seen a different level, a different intensity from Digital Gaming, where they were able to prioritize not only the M-bar, give that over towards Toxiq, who was putting it to use pretty much every single time. Gary as well also had his hands on it from time to time. But the biggest thing for me was the usage of frags for Digital Gaming. The way that they were able to utilize those frags to get the breaks on the big hills was huge. And I kind of mentioned that on this specific hill here, right, where we noticed that eUnited, you know, they got the close spawn after Digital Gaming was able to get the break, but Digital Gaming got that break originally because of the frags. And even a couple hills before that, they were able to get the break because of the frags. Once those frags were thrown out, Digital Gaming was not shy about pushing up. And you can't be. You got to take every piece of momentum and utilize it in your favor. And for me, I think Digital Gaming as a team, in the beginning, you were commenting they weren't playing together very well. But I think over time, they started to tighten up and really show what they can bring as a team, maybe not as individuals, but as a team as a whole.
Yeah, and you can kind of see it. A couple other teams kind of able to do it to eUnited on Regency. If you just kind of take them out, I believe one of them might have been Team Queso as well. Just continue to eliminate them. Continue to stagger the deaths. Fight after fight. Don't let them get that moment to breathe and think strategy, slow things down. And I think that's going to be one of the keys for eUnited down the line. Figuring out a way to slow down these hot and fired teams in action, because that's exactly what Digital Gaming did. As soon as they were able to catch fire, you even said it yourself. We've seen bigger comebacks before, so this one's not going to be impossible. And Digital Gaming, they complete it. And one thing that you mentioned that's really, really important, you talked about the frag grenade usage on the side of Digital Gaming. I'll talk about the same thing, and I almost feel bad because I made a tweet about Kenny being one of my favorite players to watch in almost all of Gears of War in the history, and he even got a kill. But I'm gonna quote a prospect, one of the best leaders in all of Gears Esports. You know, I got a kill with him in Gears of War UE. I get a kill with a frag, and you know, it's like, what do you want me to do? And he'll let you know, yeah, you got a kill, but in a moment like that, that's not enough. And Kenny can almost agree with it. You have to go big. You get 2 frag grenades, 1 kill is just simply not enough in that moment. When you are defending champions, you just have to go bigger. You have to think bigger. And I'm not going to put all the pressure on Kenny Bounds, but the overall grenade usage from eUnited, it just needed bigger plays. You needed those moments that we know you can create.
Yeah, I agree with you, and you very well said. I don't think Kenny would, you know, take offense to anything that you just witnessed or anything you just said. I mean, for all intents and purposes, Kenny is that player.
He played well.
But he played very well. And two, I do want to point out, by the way, Xplosive literally just tweeted out, controller died about 10 times that map. Nice. So unfortunate for Xplosive if that's the truth. But brother, hey, get some fresh batteries. Okay, get you a fresh controller. I don't know, plug it up. You know, have to, instead of wireless, go wired, brother. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a contingency plan. It's a hard word, contingency plan.
Got an extra one for you.
Jacob, throw it at him, brother, because clearly he needs it. You don't want your controller died in execution on Clocktower. That big 3v3 fight we'll see up top. You got your back pillar players. You also have that 1v1 that takes place down low for the frags. But I think as of lately, at least in Challenger, I was seeing a lot more huge 4v4 battles, and maybe teams are starting to sway more for the 4v4 instead of sending the player down low for the frags. What do you think? What is the meta you've been seeing as of recently?
It is a lot of aggression up top. But that's something that I saw very, very early. And a lot of clock towers, honestly, throughout the Gears series, it does start with a lot of aggression up top. That's just because these teams, they're kind of learning the map. They're learning about what they can get away with, not only up top, but down low as well. Because we do see those players that like to push down low every now and again, or at least like to make that threat. But because of way players like Icy, players like to play that force spawn, even Powerz, they rotate up top, they take the fight down low, they keep players guessing. That's why more times than not, it does turn into aggression up top, trying to grab the sniper, trying to get those eliminations. But I do predict it, and I wouldn't know, a few months, a few weeks, we're going to see some down low strategies. We're going to see some plays be made for that torque bow, for those frag grenades, because like I tell teams, you could throw them from down low up top, from the grenades, from the truck. There's so many different angles, so many different opportunities, so you can get that torque bow out alive. It's just a risky scenario, but honestly, you don't want to fight that all-out war up top over and over and over again, because sooner or later, you're going to start losing those rounds consecutively. You're not going to know how to bounce out of it.
And for what it's worth, Jacob, we have been seeing teams prioritize, because this is Execution 2.0, all right? It's not all about slaying out. Sometimes you have to play for that overtime hill. And funny enough, in Challengers and E-Days, even in some Pro League matches, we have seen teams start to transition down low for that torque bow. Now, that's after they win a fight up top and normally secure the long shot, because if the hill spawns down low around the trucks, and if you can rotate down with the long shot and also establish control of the torque bow and get that little cubby with or the cave section with the frags, it's almost an unstoppable setup, impenetrable even, to break if the overtime hill is down low. So teams will rotate down, secure the torque, the frag, have the long shot. You can't really break. Actually, I don't think I've seen that setup broken just yet. So for all intents and purposes, we have been seeing, Jacob, teams kind of prioritize the bottom side. Again, though, it's about winning that top fight. The first blood is everything. Once that first player even is down but not out, the enemy team is going to be pushing for it as hard as they can.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot more of those moves to where, like you talk about, you grab that sniper. You see some players, they like to keep the sniper up top, catch those players on the line, slipping, try to get a headshot. But more times than not, exactly what you said. You rotate it down low, because no matter what angle you could hit the torque bow at, you risk your life getting sniped. So it just kind of, you use one weapon to get the next, slowly win the game. But just like you said with Execution 2.0, that hill pops, and you don't want the team to kind of be overwhelmed with the weapons. So like I said, to me, I'm going to wait for the bravery of one player to really press that fight down low, but you need to make sure the players that are up top know how to play it as well, because they have to be able to back out with that player down low and make sure that they don't get overwhelmed by that opportunity for the player to get the flank. But it's going to be tricky. It's not going to be as easy as it sounds. That's why you do see a lot of up top aggression, because players are playing with the ideas. They're figuring out their strategies, and they're just figuring out what works and what doesn't before they use it in an actual pro match.
Yeah, and one of those things, and going back to the point where everybody's rotating down low, you don't want to give up the long shot, because as you said, the long shot is ready to pop your head off as soon as you have that torque bow pop up and you're charging and you're going for the shot. But another thing too, and I was watching this specifically when EGL was doing their broadcast, the European Gaming League, and I was watching Toby and Ton cast, which they do a phenomenal job every single week. The European teams were doing a good job, on the right and left side, and they were kind of angling out the torque player who was hiding behind that truck, because you can body shot through it. It's the same thing with the luggage. Colin is a luggage expert at this point. Okay, I've heard him so many times say the luggage doesn't stack appropriately because they're not all the same size. And I'm like, Colin, you're a genius. Well, he does a lot of traveling. It makes sense. He knows his baggage. But fair enough, the luggage doesn't just sync up right. So you have those holes you can wall bang through, snub through, or lancer through.
You can hit the power weapons through them as well. You can M-bar.
Exactly.
That's why I'm so glad when they brought back Harbor from Gears of War 4, they made the changes that they made, because there's a lot of positions when you're up top, holding that position up top. You can shoot underneath, you can M-bar their feet, you can snipe their feet, and before they know it, they're full red. And before we know it, we got action underway. Clocktower Execution. eUnited, they lost map number 1 late into the game, so I'm interested to see what strategies they use on a map that they're not their best on to try to tie this series up.
I'm interested if we get another player who wants to turn into a tree, right? That's the big thing to kind of focus on.
Don't tease me.
Hey, I know you're ready for the Twitter clip. I know you got it ready to go.
I got me in a Vexy's tree. Don't worry.
All right, fair enough. Well, hey, we've had a lot already break down in round one. We see the pickup take place. Powerz already hitting body shots. eUnited was in a tricky spot because Digital Gaming was lancering Powerz as he was trying to escape. I thought for sure he was going to die there, but he doesn't, and look at the impact he's able to have. And speaking of which, we talked about teams now rotating a player for that torque bow. Kenny doesn't waste the opportunity. He's already got it. Things are looking grim for DG.
Yeah, this is not looking good. Right now, they have to figure out a way to create some separation. Oh, nope, that's not the type of separation you want. Big shots being fired out from Powerz. He's going to connect, but look at the entire team of eUnited. They're flowing together as a team of three, letting Kenny work that flank little by little. He knows to keep his distance and not make some risky plays. A player can't hide there. You're going to get splash damage with the torque, but one goes down, traded out by Powerz. Numbers advantage continuing to be on the side of eUnited, and it will stay that way as Kenny gets another kill onto Gary, and he makes the next one pass out with some pistol shots. He's everywhere right now, and you kind of said it yourself, using the sniper to get the torch bow. That's going to be the theme of Clocktower.
Yeah, and that theme is quickly developing, something you just kind of have to prioritize eUnited getting out with that long shot. Again, it was risky because there was a down, I think, from multiple players, but eUnited had their, I think good awareness overall, because then they were able to lancer those players on that corner, right, of the tree, and lancering them down alleviated that pressure and allowed them to get Powerz back into the fight, allowed them to get out with that sniper. Gary dropping this early, though, not the play to make. Good read from Powerz, I want to point out, because at that point, Gary is going for that torque bow, and Powerz says, no, you're not going to have that. And he challenges him, takes him down. That's a great read. Having that man advantage so early on is huge.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now that Dennis is able to kind of sit up there on that middle pillar and just cross, that back pillar player can't push up onto them because of where that host spot players are located. All four players of eUnited on the line for a moment before Praized takes the much-needed anchor position towards the back. Flash grenade, damage being fired out. Nash goes down. That's going to be the first start because now they're just going to be funneled. He gets taken out as well. The revive coming through, but not going to be enough. Toxiq falls. 4v1, not going to be enough. Nero gets taken out. 2-0 start for eUnited on execution Clocktower, and this is what we needed to see from them, particularly on this map, because of how well, or at least how not well, they've been performing on it lately.
You ever watched the Last Dance with about Michael Jordan?
I've seen most of it, and I'm disappointed that I haven't finished.
Well, fair enough, but I'm sure you've seen the memes. You know, this is where I took it personal. I took it personal. eUnited took that loss on Regency control personal. They said, hey, you think you can win? That's fine. I'm going to show you can. And at this point, eUnited has just been unstoppable in the previous two rounds. We talked about eUnited naturally having their struggles on Clocktower, but they're getting a lot better. But hey, hold up. Wait a minute. Something's not right here. Nero goes for the quick pick, and he gets out alive.
I'm just trying to see. I see frag grenades going off. I'm waiting for that moment. Powerz chucks out another one, unable to connect. You got to be careful here. They're holding on to that line, but if you're going to be there solo, you're going to go down. Explosive goes in. He doesn't even get taken out. Not even a body shot. Even up 3v3, though, with that sniper in Nero's hands, they're going to drop down low for the torque bow, but this is where eUnited, they have to strike. They can't let him get it for free.
I'm going to get it for free indeed. I mean, at this point, Digital Gaming has everything to win. They've got the torque bow. They've got the long shot. eUnited has no business winning this round. No business at all. However, if they do win it, this is going to be a very telling round for Kenny, though, fearlessly moving up. Big shot, though, from the torque, and that will eliminate two players, leaving Praized by himself. Still a winnable spot, but it's going to be very difficult as he's getting Lancer. Plus, he's got to avoid the snipe shots across the map as Digital Gaming is going to use their numbers to kind of bully him out and push up. But one's going to drop. Oh, no, Praized, can you do it? Can you turn and get it? Not so lucky, but for a sliver of time, I was pretty hopeful for him. I thought he was going to be able to do it. He was looking solid.
I feel like I heard him scream and slam his desk after that one because I feel like I thought he was going to do it too. As soon as he got in between that cover, I don't know what he did with his camera, made it all wonky, but I thought he was going to get away with murder there. But Digital Gaming closed it out. They had every advantage, so rightfully so. You can't let that one slip through if you're Digital.
All right, let's head on to round number 4. Good job for Digital Gaming, and that was about, having the cojones to go up and get that long shot early on. Nero, we need to see a little bit more, gusto, I think, more often. Now, Powerz, uncontested, picking up the frags. Doesn't throw it up post spot, though. He's going to decide to go ahead and back up, alleviate that pressure, join his team, maybe throw that onto Nero. But here we go. Nero's going for that long shot, and he gets away for free.
Wow, and they somehow get it down onto Kenny. That's Toxiq and Ghash working together, making the moves, but a quick revive from eUnited is going to end some lives there. 2v4 situation. Make that a 4v1. Make that a 4v9. Praized with the quick work. Makes eUnited go up 3-1. And this is what I don't even know what happened. They just let Powerz go down for free. I saw 4 up top from Digital out of the gate, and they kind of just parked the bus. I don't know what happened, but for eUnited to secure that round in the end, that's big. That's a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, because Digital Gaming had a lot of momentum and a lot of things going right for them in that last round. They get the long shot uncontested. Nero doesn't drop there. He gets out for free, basically. And then you see a lot of pressure put onto eUnited over on balcony around the tree, but it doesn't amount to anything because eUnited makes a break for it. They counter aggression with aggression, fire with fire, and so, well, their fire was just a little bit hotter. Bottom line, period. Gary's got to find a way to get out of here, but he's getting lanced from host spot, and he's going to drop with the frags in his hands. That can't happen because now you give the frags up for free. You're already down a player now for Digital Gaming, and things aren't going to get easier from here. It's going to get more difficult, in fact. And eUnited knows this. They're going to pace it out. They're waiting for that opportunity to push forward.
Yeah, I feel bad. They're trying to throw that smoke down to try to cloud out where they're at, but all those marks, that smoke is useless. They know where you're at. They see you. Power's going to get that sniper. Even though he goes down, there's nobody from Digital that could really go in, but that's going to be 2 downs. Now Xplosive, he's going to risk his life, rightfully so. That way Powerz can get out with the sniper. 4v3 opportunity here. Xplosive going down. Digital need to figure out something. Big headshot fired out. Nero goes down. Another one being shot out, but Toxiq dodges that. But it's a 4v2. Another one from Powerz. That's 2 in the books. He's going for 3. Not going to get it just yet as he misses that one. Toxiq gets taken down in the end by Xplosive. 4-1. This is the eUnited I was kind of expecting to see in the series, but luckily for Digital, they scraped away a map #1 victory.
Yeah, 100%. Like that map #1 might save them, or at least obviously is going to guarantee a map 4. Again, something I did not expect, but eUnited's out for blood. It's very apparent, and I think overall they're playing much more efficiently than Digital Gaming. Look, you got a couple of Praized, for example, has been playing on this map for like since the beginning of time for Gear's competitive history. You know, he knows this map, the ins and outs, and you can really see that exemplified with how the troops are being guided. Now, for Digital Gaming, I do like this aggression. It's bit them in the butt from time to time, but you gotta make the most of it. If you're gonna push up like that, you gotta at least get it down. You gotta go in hard, and unfortunately, I think that's another flawless round from eUnited. Was anybody finished off from them? We'll check out in just a second, Jacob, but tough break.
I don't even.
Just kidding.
So Kenny was. I was about to say, I didn't even think it was close there for a moment. But that strategy, they sent 2 players down low. They got those nades out, and that's what I'm saying. Once you start to figure out what you can get away with, those 2 players up top knew immediately stay alive, back up. We're gonna have help, not only shotgun and lancers, but we're gonna have some frag grenades to go ahead and toot our own horn as well. But they didn't even really need them. I think 1 frag grenade got a kill at most. Now they're on map points.
Yeah, this is not looking good for DG. We talked about the struggles from eUnited. No struggles here. They are on they have that winning mentality, at least at this point. And the winning, again, eUnited's been outplaying Digital Gaming. Bottom line, period. Now, Nero has the long shot, misses it. Gary gets the pick up, but is eUnited going to? Yes, they are. They're going to push up, and that's what you need to do. When that long shot is gone, you have to go for the challenge, potentially get the trade. It's going to be a 3v3. EU is forced back. Digital Gaming might have a chance here.
Yeah, they just need to settle down. They just need to calm down. Get out of that situation. You have the only weapon there. Players going down. eUnited, you know they're going to push up. You know they're going to try to close this one out. Xplosive goes down. Gary making the big play. Revives coming through. 2 players fall. Make that 3 as Gary, I think, solidifies a triple kill. Heroic efforts. Digital Gaming, they need to play the rest of this one to perfection because I said last time, eUnited is on map point, 1 step away from closing this one out and tying it up 1 map apiece.
You know, that round, it's funny. Digital Gaming wins it, but one of the things that I kind of noticed was eUnited has been taking the fight to Digital Gaming more often than not. And even in that push, eUnited took the fight to DG, and DG was forced to react to what eUnited was throwing at them instead of forcing eUnited to react to them. And with Digital Gaming having the long shot, you would think they would be the ones to set the pace. But eUnited's been setting the pace, and Digital Gaming has yet to find a way to, kind of take that momentum, take that aggression away from them. We'll see the typical standoff between the two. Down low, though, is getting interesting as Gary's against Powerz, and he wins the fight. Quickly Lancer down, but that's a big elimination. Now, Kenny, does he go on the flank or back up? Well, he's going to back up because Digital Gaming is pushing straight into EU. It's going to be a 3v1 Nash last alive.
Whew. Last alive, not even 6-2. eUnited take Clocktower and tie the series up at one map of peace. And honestly, it didn't even look close. It looked like they were experts in their craft.
Absolutely. Well, 2 maps are down. We're tied up 1-1. Next up is Escalation Harbor. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back to finish out the series. Welcome back to Gears Pro League Split 3, Day 5. We're now about to hop into map number 3. It's going to be Escalation on Harbor. It's been a great series between eUnited and Digital Gaming, currently tied 1-1. It was very close on control. Regency 300-285 with DG taking that win, but not close at all. Execution, check out 6-2 victory for the boys of EU, Jacob.
Yeah, look at that! Look at that character though. Powerz you. Wait, go back. No, I know it's just replay, but that heroic bear. That's got to do something. I don't know if Digital Gaming had a heroic bear on their squad, but you can kind of see the difference it makes. All jokes aside, but 1-1, eUnited versus Digital. Going over to map number 3, Harbor Escalation. This is where I think eUnited does have the upper hand. Honestly, almost for the rest of the series as well. But from what I've seen from them on map number 1, Digital. If this goes a map number 5 on checkout with their aggression, I would not be surprised, but they have to make it there. They have to win one of the next 2 maps, and I think that's gonna be hard for them. I don't think they have really a shot on the Escalation Harbor, not to really put it out there so bluntly, but I think Control, the last map, warm up for map number 5, Execution, even though I was saying I was really scared for them today, now I'm almost hoping, I'm almost on that underdog story, man. I almost would want to film this a little based on a true story, starring Mark Wahlberg. I don't know who Mark Wahlberg is on that.
Really deep with
I'm like, I don't know who Mark Wahlberg is playing. Mary Nero. I don't know, but maybe I like Mark Wahlberg, man. He's nice.
He's. Have you met him before, Jacob?
Well, I met a cardboard cutout life size.
Thanksgiving dinner or what?
I'm waiting, man. I'm waiting. Hey, but I'm waiting.
Imagine walking up, Mark Wahlberg's just sitting at the table like, what's up, Mark? How you doing, brother? Hey, well, fair enough. I'm sure he appreciates the gas, Jacob. I'm sure he appreciates the gas. Hey, look, I agree with you, though. These next 3 maps for eUnited, I mean, they just look, it looks lights out. First and foremost, Harbor Escalation, right? You're going against the literal champions, the spring major champions of the last major. It's not going to be easy at all for the boys of Digital Gaming. Kenny's been playing lights out on this map. Kenny's a guy that will not lose on Harbor. Like, I don't know. It's so funny. If eUnited is struggling, Kenny just puts his foot down and says enough is enough and just takes the map over. He does it every single time. Even if eUnited loses, Kenny is still very scary. Okay, Kenny is always scary on this map, and I think he's going to play a huge role in Escalation Harbor in general. But let's talk about some weaknesses, if there is any. Okay, Digital Gaming, where can they capitalize? Where are some weak points for eUnited, if any at all?
On this initial, especially early game, before a lot of these weapons do get placed down, you need to be able to capitalize. You need to, and this is almost any team's key victory against eUnited on an Escalation map, is come out swinging hot. And it works on a map like Harbor because of that win fight. It's very chaotic. It's very crowded. You need to convincingly win that fight. I don't know how you're going to do it because of how many smokes, how many flashes get tossed there, but it's going to be the step number 1 moment. And they come through with their aggression. If they start to win or lose some of these rounds, you put that big weapon down, force those chaotic fights just like that. Gary's gonna get first blood on Xplosive. You see Kenny getting backed up. eUnited, they're just getting separated right now.
You know, they're getting separated because Digital Gaming doesn't go for that headbutt fight, the 3v3. They choose to go up top with Gary getting that opening elimination. And in my opinion, I think that threw eUnited off a little bit. So very well done for Digital Gaming to start off hot, start off differently than we are used to seeing. This is a decisive battle for Toxiq. If you can get Xplosive out, it's going to make capping this hill, getting the domination that much easier. But Xplosive is being a nuisance. He finally drops Kenny as well. And, well, this should be a Digital gaming round for sure. Nero is going to be backing Powerz up, and he's going to be the last one. Well done. Digital Gaming, you said they needed to come out, hit EU in the mouth. Well, they just did that.
Yep. Round number 1, less than a minute. And now you can't really think too much into it. You can't think too much on strategy, honestly, because that first pick was on Xplosive up top. That wasn't even towards the winch like I thought, and really, solidified they would take that fight. So right now, this is anyone's game. You see the Boltok going down low from eUnited. Almost want to give that player, in case they lose that up top fight, an opportunity to kind of fight for their lives, at least defend that player off from getting the hill. But like I said, you forced that fight early, and already Digital knows they want to fight tooth and nail for every one of these rounds.
It's funny. eUnited places the frags, and I think they placed those because they said, that's fine. You want to switch up things, we'll switch up things too. And quite honestly, I think eUnited has more bags, or more bags. Well, they got bags of money, especially after winning that major, but they got more tricks up their sleeve, in my opinion. So fair enough. Let's see if this impacts anything. Well, Ghash gets those frags. He eats one out. Unfortunately, doesn't connect. Still has one more remaining. The neutral still being fought for, but eUnited is pressed up. We're going to have a 3v3 battle for Charlie.
Oh, that was a big shot. That was a much-needed shot. And over the top, that was Lancer fire from Xplosive to down Ghash. That would have been enough to get Kenny taken out. Revives coming through. Ghash immediately is trying to put out damage, but he falls right away. Kenny and Xplosive, they overtake that C hill, just like you were talking about. And now you can see the flood of members on that hill. They're going to backtrack, try to attack this neutral, and then Kenny's just going to waste time, stay alive on that side of the map, and make it hard for Digital to even get off from their side of the map. They get another down. Hill's not broken yet. Ghash now is trying to go into the hill, but he has to deal with Kenny. Gary and him need to make sure they're on the same page here. Communication needs to be on point. Ghash goes down. Gary's going to be the last hope. Right now, he actually continues to go forward. He goes down. Like I said, the communication needed to be on point, and they got too separated.
A good job from Kenny. Lancer in hand, keeping his cool. A lot of players may have freaked out there, but not Kenny. And I say freaked out because you got the Lancer out. You're being pushed by a Gnasher. You have to reload, but Kenny, cool, calm, and collective, still gets the down and is able to push up and help his team. eUnited started hot from going from home hill to home hill, and they never let that pressure go. And that was because Kenny did such a good job hitting those big shots over on the home hill of Digital Gaming. Very, very well done. And I want to point something out too. Kenny looked directly into the eyes of the first person he downed and just blasted him away, Jake. He looked into his eyes. Kenny is not losing this map.
I mean, Kenny reminds me of, and honestly, I can see why, when Kenny really got on the scene. Yeah, he was kind of taken in by Blaze, but when we really found a lot of his upward swing, it was kind of franchise. It was under Franchise's wing there, under that Envious banner. I'm not going to say it's all on him because he did come from Synergy as well. A lot of you guys know that history. But when you take some lessons from one of the greatest leaders, and Franchise, like I said, when his teams aren't performing or weren't, Franchise stepped it up tenfold. And that's Kenny almost in a nutshell. And to me, you can kind of see it in the accolades. You can see it in the way he performs. He is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer in Gears Esports when it does come time. And already you can see a big down on Gary, and 3 players, or I should say that 2 players, getting their death staggers. They're going to have a long time with a numbers advantage on the field.
Obviously you can go way back in time, right? You're just like I say it to Blaze, I say it to Colin, I say it to you. You're literally like walking encyclopedias, right? Whenever it comes to Gears history, you're literally a Gears competitive historian, and you can go more in depth with Kenny. Talking about Team Synergy, and way back in the day when Blaze kind of took him under his wing, and then obviously picked up by Franchise. But even in most recent Gears 5 competitive history, it seems like so long ago, but people may have forgotten that Kenny did play with Franchise on that Reciprocity roster, and he was back-to-back champions in the first 2 majors. Like, don't take that away from him. Kenny is a dominant player, and it's it. I mean, honestly, I don't know about to you, but it seems like Gears 5 competitive has been lasting an eternity. You know what I'm saying? But at the beginning of Gears 5 competitive, though, Kenny was a champion, the first champion, alongside that of Rushies, Icy, Franchise, and co. So hey, fair enough. Take nothing away from the guy. He's a champion. This whole roster is full of champions. I mean, it's a tough roster to beat.
I'll never forget that. Not even on the side of Reciprocity, is they were up 2-0, and Adverse had the gall to tweet one more map. He really cursed the entire... Take the phone away, put it in a box, and chuck it 6 feet deep up in the ground so that match is over. You don't throw that one away. Just like here, Digital Gaming, they have an opportunity. Winning their first round, losing 2 straight, though. Gary goes down. I don't even know where that damage came from. Big flank from the backside, though, from Kenny yet again. Wow. Speak of the devil, his ears must be ringing.
I think that Kenny, I'm telling you, it was that first kill for me, brother, where he looked directly into the guy's eyes and said, enough is enough. You're not winning this. eUnited did that to Fire and Ice during the Spring Major. Like, bottom line period, eUnited did that. They have a way about, I'm gassing them up way too hard. Excuse me. Let me backtrack and just cast the match. Digital Gaming, they've got to come back, but unfortunately for eUnited, or unfortunately for Digital Gaming, excuse me, they were on all 3 hills, and they're once again having to battle tooth and nail for their own home hill. But Kenny is holding it down, trying to pick up player after player and being a nuisance, going for the triple kill. Hold up. He can't get it, but 2 is enough. Again, Digital Gaming is forcing and focusing so much attention on just one player from eUnited, it makes it hard to even focus on the others.
I'm saying eUnited does that well, and obviously there's a lot of teams out there. For example, obviously eUnited's going to be the one in front of us where they're like a living organism. As soon as a player gets taken out, as soon as a player makes a big play, everybody else knows exactly what situation they need to play in, where to go. As you see another example right there, Powerz dies, and almost in a blink of an eye, you see Xplosive leave Kenny on an island, knowing the position he's in. That's a position where you can easily start to funnel people in and take advantage. That's going to be kill number 2. How many double kills alone in this round did that man get?
I don't know what the ceiling is for him. I want to see the KDA after this is done. But hold up, Gary trying to put on a clinic, takes down Kenny, and well done. But that teamwork from eUnited coming back into the forefront. They've got a decent lead. Digital Gaming's back is against the wall. They have to make a big push here. If they fell on this push, they might have one more attempt depending on how it goes. But here's that KDA. Look at Xplosive, by the way, 13 assists. We've been talking about Kenny with the 9 kills, but I'm actually a fan of Xplosive with 13 assists. He's putting in that work and that damage.
Yep, that's a selfless player. That's one of those leaders to where you almost get hungry getting those assists just as well as you would eliminations, to where no, don't let me get this kill. Don't let me. I just want the assist. And I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but there are those players out there. I won't say my own, but there goes a cross right now coming out from eUnited. The triangle at the side, a pistol headshot from Praized. You don't see that every day. The styles of Gears 1, the New York God Squad right there as he gets another one. Slowly tries to peek up and finish that elimination, but the damage has definitely been done. Kenny gets the down onto 1. Nice flash, going for 2 yet again. How many can you get in this round? Complete it. Get another one. Don't be scared. Now's not the time, because Gary's going to take the fight to you otherwise. And he gets it. Oh my God, and he gets it. Another double kill for Kenny.
He's just so nasty. Like, I mean, when does the egghead stop? When does he crack? You know, I don't think he's not Humpty Dumpty, Jacob.
Reinforced.
I guess he's not falling off the perch yet.
Made out of solid gold. Who's the goose that laid him?
Well, I don't know that answer, Jacob. That's going way back, and you're the Gears historian. Maybe you know that answer.
I don't think I've met his parents.
It's a mystery to me too, man.
I met almost everybody else in his family but his parents. Like, I played Fortnite with his brother, his little AJ brother, when I knew he was very
is he cracked too? Is he going with the builds?
Is. Not only that, he's like younger than me. He's taller than me. I won't admit to that.
Earnings check?
Nope. I still got one up.
Oh, you still got one up on him with earnings check?
That's all I got.
Fair enough. Hey, you know, it's kind of like Rib's family. You know, just everybody is just naturally good at everything, whether it be traditional sports, gaming. Some families are just built different. Kenny, he's just one of those guys. EU off to another great start. Well, he'll be picked back up. He'll be picked back up by Kenny, but Kenny might not even pick him up. Yeah, he's going to pick him up. I thought Kenny was going to play a little game there and say, hey, man, you made a mistake, brother. You got to live and die by it.
Oh, no.
I hate the laugh. I really do. I hate the laugh, but it's just so clean. eUnited is playing this map so clean.
And it's just like I said, when it comes to strategy, that's like I said, the weakness for Digital right now. 4-1, you know, Escalation, eUnited dominated on it for so long here, or at least recently, being your defending champions on the game mode. So when I saw this one, you almost got to chalk it up for a win against eUnited, against some of these lesser teams, or these teams that might not have as much experience. So that's why I said, when you go to that control map and you're Digital, you need to win. That's a must-win map for Digital. And then honestly, check out Execution if we go there. there. If we go to a game 5, I might be getting way ahead of myself. That could be a game. That could be a brawl. That could be something that has me at the edge of my seat.
Well, I mean, we'll find out if we get to that point. I mean, when it comes to Control District, it is a team-heavy, a very team-oriented map. Lancer Fire is critical, and the best teamwork will win. You have to give the edge over towards eUnited in that regard. And also, District is a map that they're very comfortable on. I see Digital Gaming losing in the next map, but I was already surprised in map number 1. I can be surprised again and get to that game number 5, but Digital Gaming still, though, I mean, they're in it. And as we always say, Jacob, when a team is still in it, there's an opportunity to potentially win. I don't know if it's going to happen here, but Digital Gaming hasn't lost to Harbor Escalation just yet.
Hey, if Dumb and Dumber taught me anything, 1 in a million is still a chance. And that's all you need, man. That's all you need. And I've seen some crazy things happen in Gears Esports. I've been around the block for a while with Digital. They got spotted out, 2 players in the mirror. Nero's just trying to go for those frags, and they're going to get out alive with them, at least for now. Nero's going to have to make sure that he doesn't use those frags to try to save a teammate. You need to get those eliminations. Like we were talking about early on, your usage of map number 1 was perfect. You get some great shots, and that's a big shot on the Praized. He gets a double kill down from the winch right now. United know they have to go, and it's going to be Kenny. He's going to be the first one there. They know the frag grenades are in their hands. Depending on how and what they do, he's actually going to go for the straight elimination. Not going to be able to pick up those extra frags in his pocket, but they want to go for this domination here, or at least try to go for the point lead continuous. Big shots being missed from Kenny. Opportunity slipping through their fingers here in this round to pick up those eliminations on the home mill as Praized finally gets taken down. Kenny's already towards the backside. Can he stay alive? No, he cannot. Quick to the answers as Digital Gaming closed that one.
Yeah, they closed that one, but still the 2-1 in favor of eUnited plus the point lead. A lot of work needing to be done. And Xplosive is 10 toes down. He's not moving from this spot. He's going to Lancer out and call out to Powerz. Hey, you got a couple of members coming up that ramp. Be ready for them. Toxiq looking to take the fight to him, but Xplosive putting up a great fight indeed. Nash will finally make a break up top, but eUnited's off the respawn, and they're going to be able to at least apply that pressure. And I don't know if the 2-1 with the point lead is enough. It might be just enough, and it's not. Actually, no, F is going to be decapped. Again, eUnited playing that home-to-home. They're taking or trying to just hold on to any advantage they can.
Staying alive right here. There comes a point in time where staying alive, like I said, it's just not good enough. You're going to slowly lose the game or lose trying to get these advantages under your belt. And now you have to go for a triple neutralization and you get stuffed on one end of the map. That's not something you want. Digital, that opportunity, 1 in a million, is closing right now as Kenny. He's trying to go for an up A, gets taken out, but like I said, 2 hills, needing a triple neutralization, double headshots around the block. eUnited close this one out 5-1, making it look easy. Take a 2-1 map advantage over Digital.
You know, that is a beatdown. That really is. I got excited for Digital Gaming off the rip. When they won that round 1, I'm thinking, man, there's a chance here. But after that, Kenny says enough is enough. He'll finish 15-9. Xplosive 17 elimination, or excuse me, assists. Powerz had 14 assists. Great teamwork across the board. I mentioned District coming up next. It's going to be Control. Again, that teamwork, those assists coming out from Xplosive, you know, even Praized at times, or Powerz, you know, are going to be absolutely massive. Kenny on District traditionally, when it came to Escalation, was always that guy picking up the most assists. I'm curious if he'll take that role again with Control, or he might just slay out. But again, proving our points, man. Kenny on Harbor, he just doesn't like to lose that map.
And I know you said it, but I mean, how many times is that man just going to have his back up against the wall and get multiple double kills? And that's what I'm saying. He was the one for eUnited in that map in particular that was doing a lot of the dirty work, which is, you don't typically see it. It's usually Praized. It's usually Powerz, those players that like to get their hands dirty. But 2-1, District Control, like you said, Digital Gaming right here has to take that same key to success, but advance it throughout the entirety of it. You already saw them come back late into Regency, but now you have to come out hot on District. You have to start and maintain a big lead over this team, begin to continue to fluster them, because eUnited now have woken up after that map loss. Now they're playing more of the eUnited we know them to be, a more cohesive unit.
Yeah, eUnited is playing incredible today, as we expected them to. You know, this wasn't going to be an easy series for Digital Gaming. They are currently 0-4. You're going against eUnited, who is at the top of a lot of people's power rankings. Despite being 4th place in the standings for Pro League, you have to still take eUnited as a big threat, no matter who you're going against. That's a highlight play. Despite Kenny not picking up that third, I mean, you can see how hard Digital Gaming was having to fight, not only against him, but against every EU member. It wasn't just a one-on-one. You know, it was never simply a one-on-one. It was a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1 to eliminate Kenny and co. That's when you know you're in trouble, when you can't play man up. Because if you're playing man up, you're getting ran through, you're giving up a lane, you're giving up a power weapon, you're giving up the frags, which were laid down early on. And by the way, eUnited placed those frags. They were the ones who wanted to break up the fight. That was a smart play because, again, when it comes to escalation with eUnited, they're the more mature team, if not the maturest team. They are the champions from the Spring Major. So you have to respect them on any map across the board for escalation. And eUnited knew placing those frags was going to throw Digital Gaming for a loop. They were comfortable with the first fight, but the second fight, they just weren't able to really hold it together or get it back.
Yeah, and like I said, their key to success is not going to be outthinking eUnited. It's going to be outslaying eUnited.
Yes.
And honestly,
Well said.
Escalation doesn't necessarily, favor the all-out war of continuous slaying over and over, even though aggression is the meta in the mode. Control, due to the respawns and not having a side switching back and forth, that's where you're going to be able to kind of suffocate a team. That's where I think Digital Gaming, that opportunity is going to be here to tie up the series. And on checkout, I do think you guys have the opportunity, really, but you have to figure out a way to slow down eUnited. And that's the thing. When we're hyping up Kenny so bad, there's a problem, because you have Praized, you have Powerz on that team, two of the biggest slayers in the game that have been driving the scene crazy since they really entered and formed as a team. So you don't really want to kind of hype up everybody on the team. You got to make sure Kenny plays that support role towards the backside. Don't get his hand dirty, because that's when eUnited really gets rolling. That's where, I might shut down Powerz, but guess what? I have multiple players to worry about.
I was looking at the stat sheet just to my right. eUnited, I don't think we've recorded them playing on District as of yet when it comes to Control. So this is going to be a good indication as to how they could. I'm going to go back in my notes and actually look at Emergence Days, because they did just win Emergence Days, and they looked incredible. Say what you will, but they beat VQ 3-0. And no, unfortunately, District Control was map number 4. So we didn't get to see that because eUnited 3-0'd VQ. So good victory from them. I think they play tomorrow. It's going to be an excellent rematch to kind of see who's going to take that one, because we talk about VQ's high skill ceiling. I still think it's there, but for Emergence Days, they just did not bring enough fuego to beat that team of eUnited. But when it does come to Digital Gaming, we know they're currently 0-4 in the Pro League. Record-wise, they have played on District once. It was against Fire and Ice, and they lost 300-192. So a pretty decisive loss. You lose by 108 points, but they have experience there, but so does eUnited. And again, Lancer-heavy map. You just seen the Lancer usage on Harbor, and that's going to it's going to pay dividends on District. So for Digital Gaming, this is one that I think their back is already against the wall before it's even started.
Yeah, they like I said, you have to be aggressive. You have to stagger the death. And you can't slow down. Once you slow down, you give eUnited time to think. You're letting Xplosive, one of the most decorated IGLs, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, in esports history reflects. Did you give him time to think? It's already over before it begins.
Yeah, you can't give him time to think. He's a genius. He's just a mastermind. Bottom line, period. Boom shot is going to be the main power weapon here. Obviously, you do have those ensigns. Ensigns are incredibly valuable, too. You get 2 of them, but the boom has paid dividends to breaking a hill or stopping a rotation in its tracks, and that's going to be a big focal point, I think. More so even than the M-bar on Regency. The boom shot here on District is massive, but or at least a good start, a successful fight for Digital Gaming off the rip. And you know what? You go back to Regency Control. You remember hill number 1, Jacob? Hey, Digital Gaming pretty much got all those points, so it looks as if they're repeating history.
Yeah, but there's a boom shot on the field right now. Instant in the hands of Xplosive. Praized gets that one. It's going to be a short-lived lead there, especially a big kill onto Gary. And they know, Xplosive knows that player spawned on his left side, so they know the player's either going to spawn on the right or behind him, so they have to go forward. Boom shot being shot out. They're going to solidify as much timing on this hill. I think they're going to have just enough to maybe go 1 or 2 seconds in the lead if they hold all this time. So you can kind of see Digital. If I'm them, I go ahead and try to fight for what could be the next hill. This is going to be more important anyway. Big, another instant. That's 3 instants, or 3 kills with 2 instants.
So this is going to be the next hill. Kenny's going to set up early to try and get Nero off of it. Digital Gaming will be spawning over on Bandstand, so they're going to have an opportunity to push these boys back. Now, you can contest the hill just up those stairs if you hug the corner. Colin actually taught me that just a little bit ago last night during Challenger Series. But Digital Gaming getting that close respawn over to Bandstand by the grace of the respawn gods and gears. Hey, they're going to have a good attempt, or at least a good fight here, but now they're getting pinched. You got Powerz who's going to be able to lance from the bottom. You also got another member who's going to be just behind, actually several members just behind. You got to get Powerz out first and foremost. They do that, and now they can set up and take whatever points they can get. I'm sure eUnited is going to be there for the pushback, but for now, Digital Gaming continues to better their lead.
Yeah, it was Nero kind of holding off eUnited for a moment, making sure that they couldn't solidify or focus on the same target. Now with 4 players there, it's going to be Praized getting stunned out, but followed by Xplosive. They're making sure that if a player goes down, they can easily be there as reinforcements, but Xplosive falls. Revive on Praized, but they're not going to do anything. Praized goes down, and so does Kenny. 3 players of eUnited wipe. Powerz trying to make a sneaky play. He gets taken out as well. All 4 players dead at 1 second or another. That's going to be almost a full hill going over to Digital, but they get the short spawn towards the bottom, and they're able to uncontest or keep it contested on the wall as Xplosive doing what he can. Praized goes down, and now eUnited, they're going to be forced to back up. So once again, Digital will be able to net some time.
And I believe this next hill, you can accumulate quite a bit of time. And if I'm eUnited, I'm rotating early, and I'm going to be trying to lock this next hill in if I can. There's 2 distinct hills you want to get. One of them I don't know the name for. Per se, Toxiq can't get out of there in time. The boom shot's still going to be on the ground. But the one hill for sure, though, where I've been noticing teams, especially in Challenger Series, get so many points off of is the Bandstand hill. That one is so difficult to break, especially if you have a boom or incense to shut down those lanes. There's only 3 distinct choke points, and you can land throughout every which way. So Bandstand is one that I'm going to be looking at to see who gets the majority of points, because quite honestly, that could be the hill that decides this entire map, because we're very early into it. Gary's going to pick up the boom. Does he shoot it here, though? Well, he'll take them Powerz, and luckily he shoots it early on because he was finished off, and Xplosive picks up the 2-piece. So can he get the 30? Cannot. Praise is there. It's going to be a 1v in the mid, but again, it's all about this next hill. eUnited is already set up in it.
It's going to be hard right now. If I'm Digital, I was about to say, Toxiq is going to be the one going down there. I want to get that low spawn, making sure that I can continue to spawn my teammates up. But that's where Kenny knows that one's coming. He's at least trying to solidify the actual spawn point to get this angle. He's spotting out 2 big players. Like I said, that smoke is going to be useless, brother. He's got to make sure you dodge the marks. 3 players dead for Digital, leaving Ghash by himself. And because they don't even have that low spawn, you can already see it getting blocked for the most part. They're going to have to fight for just that little portion of the map, getting crossed all over. As soon as Kenny stretches wide to try to get this angle, more downs will come through, but Ghash figures out a way to sneak through. He's going to continue to try to push forward, but for Digital, I don't know if this is the wise move. There only be a few seconds left on that hill, even if they break it.
Yeah, this isn't a good push, because I don't even think they're fighting for the next respawns either. So you're not getting a lot of value, and in fact, you might be giving value over towards eUnited, because they could spawn out and be ready for the next hill. Either way, that's what they decided. Bandstand hill is coming up next. This is the hill I was talking about, Jacob, that is so difficult to break, and if you have it locked in early on, you can have a tremendous advantage. Player 6 is going to be the first one down there. Digital Gaming will be starting to get those points. Plus, they have a lot of mid presence, and they're looking to control these neutral angles with the Lancer Fire. Nero also picks up the boom. So even though Digital Gaming, challenges that last hill a bit late, they were able to slay out eUnited, take numbers control, get mid control, and they have set themselves up quite nicely. I said this hill is very difficult to break, so Digital Gaming could accumulate a lot of points here.
Yeah, especially like they had that boom shot for a moment. Multiple eliminations. It almost gets snuck out there. It's going to be on the ground. Almost goes to the other side of the cover, but the elimination's coming through. Powerz is trying to take down Geary. Are they going to be able to grab it? Yes, he does. Reaches on top of the table, or as to say, the fountain going to solidify that one. Much needed boom shot. Oh, only gets damaged, but
that's okay.
Luckily for him, yeah, I was about to say, players are there in the bandstand going to solidify. That's going to be an important position as well, and that's going to be Kenny. You talked about on this map, District. Kenny's going to be the main support player, and man, were you right.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny has always been a support player on Escalation for District. Traditionally, he continues to be that player here. And you know what? Fair enough. Control's different. It's unique, but if you have set roles on a map like this, it makes the transition that much easier, right? If you can just go back to the same default roles you had for Escalation, you know, hey, fair enough. And Kenny knows his role where he needs to be. It's a closely contested map, though, for Digital Gaming. I'm going to say the same thing I did on Regency. I'm impressed with Digital Gaming's ability to continue to fight tooth and nail in these team fights against EU.
Once again, though, leading another hill. This is those team fights you're talking about. Taking out Praized, taking out Xplosive. They just need to figure out a way to stagger the deaths. But Gary, I was about to say, he needs to be careful. He's not even regen all his health from that last fight and already being put full red. Once again, another player going down. But Nero gets revived. Big plays from Gear to try to save the day. But the angle's coming through from eUnited. Explosive. El Capitan gets taken out, though. Unable to solidify the elimination for himself. Praized forced to back up. He gets taken out. Great plays by Ghash and the rest of Digital. Kenny's trying to sneak a kill, but Geary is continuing to stagger the deaths, but no big points, no major points being netted for Digital until now. But boom shot in the hands of Explosive. We've got one great opportunity here to put something to rest, and he sees these players are separated, so you can make something happen on the hill.
Yeah, I love this separation. They know Digital Gaming spawns to the left of Explosive. He creates that spacing, gets some coverage, and utilizes the boom shot to take down one. That spacing was important because he could have been Lancer from Toxiq on the hill and the other two players pushing in. So eUnited sees that situation for what it is, reacts to it accordingly, and doesn't give that added edge over towards Digital Gaming. Digital Gaming, though, off this hill, Jacob, has managed to bring that scoreline within 20 or so points. eUnited is going to be able to get the remaining points. I believe there's 20 remaining. So Digital Gaming now is going to be focused on the next hill. Kenny also has one ensign to his name. You can see Digital Gaming out to the just to the outside. They're going to be fighting hard for this next hill, but this ensign could be deadly. This could be 3 players down, and it might just be, but I guess eUnited would only get 2, but hey, fair enough. 2 for 1. I'll take that deal any day.
I was wondering what the spread was like on the other side of that cover. Even if it wasn't a direct ensign, it could have spread out wide, causing a lot of damage. And that's going to be the opportunity here for eUnited. Next hill is going to pop. They're going to try to solidify this spawn point, but you see on the minimap, multiple members of Digital are fighting for this position, or at least going towards the up top. Powerz gets taken out, as so does Explosive. Hopping over the cover, almost ill-advised as Praized gets it down, unable to clean it up as Digital. They're staying close together. They're making sure nothing escapes them. No free 1v1s, no free kills coming through. But Kenny, once again, there goes one. A couple of helps towards the backside along with Praized. That's going to be a big moment for eUnited. And he continues to press forward. That's another kill. How many double kills in this series? Who has the count?
I don't know how many Kenny has personally or who has the most, but that was such an important spot for Kenny to be in. And even for Explosive, because he's not allowing Digital Gaming to get anywhere close to the hill. And by the time they do, they're going to be lancered out. Now, specifically for Kenny, though, on that hill, on this current hill, why was his positioning big? Well, he's being pressured by 2 players from Digital Gaming. He's on an island by himself. He needs to hold his ground, and he does. And because he held his ground, he allows eUnited to come off that respawn, travel across, I believe, Cinema, and then help and assist against the Digital Gaming members who were on the northern part looking to push into the hill. Kenny was the hero in that last one, and that's why eUnited has surpassed 200 and is at 220.
Yep, this is where you can almost feel the pressure for your Digital. You begin to get desperate. You begin to make plays that are high risk, high reward that you don't necessarily need to make. So they need to find a moment here throughout all this chaos, throughout the coming back that they need to do to stay relaxed, to stay calm, to stay focused. Big shots from Praized, though. He's going to figure out a way to hold his ground, trade off those eliminations. Lots of EU support fire coming through on the backside. That's going to go ahead and make sure that they solidify as much of the control around this hill as possible. They're not going to go ahead and contest it, but the control around is going to be important. That way they don't have to waste utility when they finally make the push, which you see both Kenny and Powerz gearing up to do. One flash going out. Actually, both flashes connecting with some stuns, but there goes. Crossfire towards the backside from Toxiq. It's going to be huge. Explosive gets the angle onto Gary. Ghash falls, trying to be the hero against Powerz, and another kill. That's going to be 2. Nero, the last hope, the last line of defense for Digital, gets taken down, and now the desperation is going to be more than ever.
Yeah, Digital Gaming's going to need to get a break here. They can't afford to let eUnited feel more comfortable with that point lead. You remember Regency control? Digital Gaming was able to pretty much close out the deficit and come back in a major way. But I don't know, with the way eUnited is playing in the later portions of this game, it's a lot different than their performance on Regency. eUnited is very comfortable in their positioning. I mean, Kenny, he has 27 eliminations. We were talking about him being the main support player, and he has 27 elims being the main support player. You know EU's in good hands. We saw 33 just a little bit ago. Praized with 21 himself. Here comes the cavalry from Digital Gaming. This could very well be the last hill.
You already see one elimination coming through. The juice is very important. And this is where you can kind of see Kenny sitting back. He's just trying to count the number. That's another boom shot in the hands of eUnited, and Xplosive immediately put to use. That's going to make that push even harder. But I would say the silver lining is now Xplosive. He doesn't have a Lancer. He's not going to be able to put more damage out than he was before. Yes, he's going to have that pistol, but he needs to be accurate. You see the line of terror coming through. Digital, they're trying to stop it. A few seconds left on the time, and everybody's going down. And I don't think they're going to be able to stand the line, but big revives late in the game. That's going to be key. They're going to be able to hold on and continue this district on control. They're trying to force a game number 5. Nero takes out Kenny. We've seen this happen on map number 2. It's like almost deja vu.
It is almost deja vu, but I'm going to taper my expectations just a little bit, because when that comeback did happen before, eUnited was at like 250, 260. Now, granted, still very scary, but eUnited is just mere points away from taking the victory here. But one thing that I know from Challenger Series, casting out with you, casting out with Colin or Blaze, nothing is for granted, or nothing is guaranteed, excuse me. I seen a team last night stay at 296 for, I mean, I think 2 or 3 hills, only to lose 300 to 296. So this could happen. Digital Gaming, oh no, and Powerz lags out.
I can't even pretend to kind of know what happens when we stalemate the hill. See, I would think, okay, this is how pickups go. Let me tell you how pickups go right now, because that's very unfortunate right now. Oh, they're actually, I want to say they're going to continue to play it out. The rules state you have to continue to play it out, Reflections, but I think Digital's just trying to be a good sport. And that's why I'm talking about in a pickup and some of those wager matches. Yeah, what happens usually here, for some of you guys might not know, is they're probably going to wait for him to kind of spawn back in, make sure all the power weapons are on the ground, and then get some sort of, frag grenade or some way to kill every member at once. Probably is going to be the boom shot. And then where you respawn, that's where they're going to try to continue the game. That's with good sportsmanship. But usually you close this one out. If you're Digital, you got to take what's given to you. You go to a game number 5. But I like it. Because the main reason why I like it is because even though they're winless right now, they still want to earn every single win. They don't want that asterisk on their record.
Yeah, I want to say Digital Gaming, you got to respect them for not, because you said, if you're winless, you have a chance to beat eUnited. You take every advantage possible. The rule states 4v3, one player lags out. It's a live game. You can't stop it. You got to just play it out. You got to go for it. Xplosive is back in. But the fact that Digital Gaming stops the game, respects their competition, and says, fair enough, we'll wait. You gotta love it. You gotta love to see that. Excuse me. So the last player isn't going to be in. But with that being said, though, much respect to Digital Gaming. I mean, much respect to Digital. There are other teams who would have taken this advantage and closed out, or potentially closed this out. I think eUnited could still win this 3v4. But regardless, though, for Digital Gaming to put the pause or put the brakes on, hey, you got to give respect, chat. Chat, this is a beautiful thing.
I give them all the respect in the world right now. Like I said, hey, if you bounce them right back down to challengers, they're coming back to the Pro League. I tell you, even if they get relegated somehow, they're not really relegated, because they're going to be back here. They're too good of a team. They're too mechanically skilled, and it shows. You can see the potential here, winning map number 1. This comeback, they kind of started here. This is where I'm kind of worried about the comeback, because you're giving eUnited time to slow things down, like I said. Everything that Digital Gaming was building towards, I'm not going to say it's going to come kaput falling down when we get back into play, but I will say it's not going to be as easy as it was before. So right now, once everybody, like I said, a team elimination, team wipe, everybody gets taken out as you see them grouping up towards the middle. It's all or nothing for Digital. And honestly, a win or lose right now, like you said, respect where respect is deserved.
Yeah. So, hey, you know what?
I love it.
That's the best way to do it, baby. Just a fresh restart. These guys are 5 head. Let's get back into the map. So Digital Gaming is going to have a little bit closer of a spawn, and it's going to be a mad dash to the hill on Bandstand.
Look at the flank of eUnited, or Xplosive. It was eUnited, but it was Xplosive. He gets the one onto Ghash. Boomshot's not going to be in play, though. It was picked up quite a bit ago, so I don't really know the timing on it, but that's going to be key here. Remembering the timers of all the power weapons, but you have to go ahead and get these numbers advantage. Get Powerz out. Big elimination coming through. Double down. Revive's going to be cleaned up, and Digital Gaming on the reset are going to be the first ones to control the hill. Boomshot's up as well. They can get the next Boomshot.
Who's going to be able to get it? Well, Kenny's going to be lancering out. He's fighting tooth and nail for it. Ghash is going to be just on the other side. He's been marked through the smoke. Kenny dies.
Trade.
Nero's going to be here in a 1v3 situation. Well, let's see how this pays. Oh, great instant from Toxiq onto Powerz. And Nero looked like he was going to hit a good shot, but he doesn't. The boom's in Xplosive hands, but he's been lancered out. It's a mad battle, and it continues.
I'm stressed right now. I don't know what's going on. Boomshot's being tossed left and right. Praized knows he has to get the elimination. Ghash is going to be the hero. Digital Gaming are going to solidify more points. 25 on this clock. So they'll have 256. Go rotating to the next hill. Gary needs to know you do not waste this Boomshot under any circumstances until the next hill pops.
Digital Gaming has a real chance here. They have now taken, or they're within striking distance. They're getting all of the scrap time. Seven's going to hop out. Fair enough. Only 9 seconds remaining there. They understand the importance of this next hill. It's going to make or break that of Digital Gaming, and quite honestly, make or break eUnited in this situation. Praized's going to have to fight hard. He's going to drop off, and it looks like Digital Gaming is going to be set up nicely for the fresh hill as long as they can get player one out. Powerz is the only one right now who could give them. Oh my lord! If Powerz is going to be that guy who puts in the work for eUnited, and now he still has a big battle ahead of him, but he should be able to win it with ease, and they won't. Ghash picks him up, but eUnited off the respawn still are able to get that break. Digital Gaming needs to get here now.
Powerz is just toying with him. He was bouncing around looking at the fight behind him, and he didn't want to go ahead and take a fight without his team. And now you see the desperation. They try to flood the hill. They don't get anything. eUnited will close out the series 3-1.
Well done, and a good fight for Digital Gaming, and more importantly, great sportsmanship. Quite honestly, the best sportsmanship I have seen in quite some time. Just to reiterate, Digital Gaming could have continued to play this map 3v4, or 4v3, excuse me, in their favor, and it would have been fine. It would have been the right call. I mean, no one could have held anything against them, but they decided to pump the brakes, go for a restart, and they still came off that restart in a great way. I'm impressed with Digital Gaming. They lose the series 3-1, but I think they got a little bit of favoritism from me after that great play call.
No, I definitely respect. Well deserved, even though they continue on the road winless. You can kind of see the potential. That's what I really talk about some of these teams. It's just not enough to practice anymore. It's not enough to play the maps. It's not enough. You need to be practicing perfect. Put yourselves in bad scenarios so that when you feel the pressure in these real matches, you know how to bounce back. And here's one of the things I did kind of like with my own Ghost Gaming squad back in the day, whether if it was a stopwatch or some sort of timer, I let the guys know, hey, you guys have to win the round in a minute or you can credit for a loss, regardless what the score line shows. And that's just some of the things you guys need to realize. Those different scenarios, you practice those different moments, you won't feel as nervous, you won't feel as pressured when that moment actually does arrive. That's why I say practice perfect, so that way it becomes muscle memory.
Yeah, fair enough. Practice perfect. That's it's an important key. It's not enough to just go in and just play, non-stop matches. You got to go in with the intention of getting better in a specific area, because if you can master that area you're struggling at, all around, you're going to be just a much better player. For Digital Gaming, what are they good at? Well, clearly control. We've seen them win Regency just earlier and put up a tremendous fight on District for control, at least with Digital Gaming. I have no worries there. I think they're a top-tier team for control, but they definitely struggle in execution, and they clearly struggle on escalation. Those are two maps that two game modes, excuse me, you just got to master. Honestly, I would prefer them to grind execution a lot harder than that of escalation. Clearly, escalation is an important swing mode, but it's only played once in the best of 5. They already have control down. If they can just get a bit better, more concise, better teamwork, and I think more, tricks in their bag of tricks, I think for execution, if they can just get better on that game mode, Jacob, this could be a scary team.
No, it definitely could be a scary team. I don't know who's coaching them, but man, I definitely want to see a little bit more depth, a little bit more strategy kind of under the belt, because like I tell a lot of the teams, everybody is good at this game, especially these pro players. Everybody can wall bounce around around on 30s. Everybody can up A, everybody can back A, side A, around the block A. But when it comes to rotations, when it comes to strategy, that's where these teams are really separated. And it shows with teams like eUnited, with